listening to Great.
Welcome to WBGR in Lanham to the Michael Graham Show. Today's guest from the Michael Graham Show will be David Wingate, former Georgetown Hoya NBA player. Billy Goodwin from St. John's University. Tony Bruin from Syracuse University. Eric Smith, former Georgetown Hoya, and also Chuck Everson, 1985 Villanova NCAA champions. And my co-host here tonight, of course, the Hawkman himself, Eric Ravenel Hawkins.
Hello, community. Hello, community. I believe it is, it's Men Make a Difference Day today in Prince George's County. I know I saw Mel Franklin and Daryl Barnes doing a lot of stuff around in PG for Men Make a Difference Day. So I want to shout out to that, Men Make a Difference, and also, of course, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So definitely big ups to that. And again, my mother lost my mother behind cancer, and I know how that is. So, yep, we're here. We're going to, like we say, we're going to tell it to the young. We're going to tell it to the old. We're going to tell it to the hot. We're going to tell it to the cold. We want plenty of laughing. We don't want no crying around here. Most of all, we don't want no signifying. This is the Michael Graham Show. I'm Eric Ravenel Hawkins. Talk to him, Big Mike.
Right now, our guest right here today is a former teammate of mine from the 1984 NCAA champion, Georgetown Hoyas, and one of my closest friends, my brother, David Wingate.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you for having me on today. I'm very excited and willing to get out there and answer some questions if some call-ins come in.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, see, I wanna start. See, at one time now, I'm from Prince George's County, born in Freedmen's Hospital from Washington, D.C. and all, played sports in Maryland, but I also lived in Baltimore. And those of you who know me out there knew exactly where I live, right off Monument Street, East Baltimore, Monument to Sterling. So, for those of you that don't know, you young folks, this guy was on one of the best high school teams probably ever in the history of high school basketball.
Basically we just came out with something with 30 for 30 a couple of weeks ago on our high school team, and big tribute to the Baltimore area and the guys that was doing it back then and had a chance to get up out of there when things were going bad. Right, exactly.
Who'd you have with your Muggsy Bogues? You had Reggie Williams.
What's the other guy that went
Lewis?
to Reggie Lewis? And there was another guy with the G.
Gary Graham.
Gary Graham.
Right.
And there was another guy, big guy that went to GW or George Mason.
Yeah.
Or
You're talking about Tim Dawson.
Tim, Big Tim,
right.
yes.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Those you never got a chance to see them play, you sure missed a high school game.
Yeah.
And of course, the famous Coach Wade, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Now, hey, weren't you rumored at one time back then to be going to Maryland?
Yeah.
What happened there? What happened? You were supposed to go to Maryland.
Well, basically, my mother didn't want no parts of that.
Mine didn't either, because I had signed to go to Maryland too. Mine didn't either, man.
That's something.
Yeah, definitely.
And Coach Wade, he was at Maryland for a minute, right? He did get over to Maryland, but that didn't go. Things that happened. I guess after Lefty, no one could survive.
Right. Didn't have a chance.
After the Lynn
Didn't have a
Biden,
chance.
Of course. Yes. Yeah, you're part of, along with Big Mike, some of the best Georgetown teams. Those years you were what, freshman? You made the all-rookie team your freshman year.
Yeah, something that I didn't expect to happen, but being that we was in the program that we ran, Coach Thompson ran, it makes you achieve a lot of things that you ain't think you could do.
Right.
And just that opportunity that I had as a freshman, and just to go out there and to start in a big university like Georgetown and to be attribute to the team was very big for me.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, good on defense. One of the best defensive players.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, he was that without a doubt. I really thought. Now he had some offense,
right?
Very explosive, but I think his defense was better because once you put him on somebody, it's like he's ready. It was like Gene. He's locked in. He's locked in. Right. Yeah, he was a hell of a defense player. Y'all, we taking calls. So if you want to call in, you got the number around. The number is
301.
There it is.
429-9247.
So we're taking questions right now, or even on Facebook. If you got a question for David on Facebook or me or, whatever, we'd be glad to answer them. Not a problem. Okay. So, Dave, you had a long career in the NBA. I used to enjoy watching you play. I'm really proud of you, and a long career. So, I mean, you must have really put in the work, because the last 15 years in the NBA, that's hard.
It's hard.
That's really hard. And then you got guys that I played with, like the Roy Chopleys and the Grant Garnesacks and all those guys, the Richard Dumas, who were supposed to be stars in this league and played 1, 2, maybe 3 years, and that's it. That's it. But it was a consistent thing with you. 15 years. You was always on somebody's team, and you was always part of their game plan when it was time to play. How did you do it?
Well, actually, it was just basically how I was built. From going from one high school coach to a college coach like Coach Thompson, that instilled little things like defense, little things that people don't really can see. But if you look at the stat or the game, it plays a big part on the outcome of the game. And being that I wasn't particularly greedy for the ball or whatever, you didn't have to run a play for me. You didn't have to do anything. It was just that I thought that I can go out there and make my offense from my defense. And when you have a mindset like that enables you to go out there and to be the best that you can and to be able to last as long as you can.
Right. You're being modest there because you were a great defender. Right up there with Gene Smith, you guys were a great defender. And that's one thing that I think, and I mean, the folks, the coaches say it, kept your league. They could always depend on you on defense. Matt Gukas once said you would have been a first-round draft pick. If not, but for 6 or 7 teams to trade away their first-round pick, you went in the second round of the NBA. You would have been a first-round draft pick. And you could score when you wanted to score, too, because you were the third leading scorer on the Georgetown team behind, Sleepy?
And Patrick.
And Pat, third leading scorer. So that's what you brought to those Warriors. You could go to that right. You was a slasher to that right off that backboard. They couldn't stop you. So always like that in your game, let alone the defense. And that's what we, like the last show, we were stressing to the young folks out there. If you play defense, don't be that person that just want to go out and just do all the shake and bake or just want to shoot it all the time.
Absolutely.
Because now, face it, you've got centers, 7-footers just want to step back and just shoot.
And that's where the game has changed. We were talking about, matter of fact, today I was looking at a post that Tony Bruin had put up about how the game has changed, how back in the day, you got the big man taking advantage of the little man in the post. You got the little man that's making the plays, handing out the assists, and then you got at the bottom, you got 3 7-footers. And all of them want to shoot jumpers.
All want to shoot jumpers.
That's it. That's it.
You had
the game
power
has changed.
forwards and strong forwards, and you had guards. It was different positions. You kick it down low to the big guy. If you came under the basket, you got bumped around. There was none of this flagrant. I still don't understand it. Flagrant, whatever. Play basketball. But defense is the kicker.
Yeah, they don't play defense like they used to. Like now, the way I play now, I couldn't play in today's game. Because for one, I'm too physical, and they're not gonna let that happen. They took that out away from the game. I guess hoping to score more points. They trying to change the game, but I always figured there's nothing wrong with a little physicality.
Right.
Absolutely, definite.
So, what do you think about today's game?
Well, I think it's totally different. You got the big guys that's pretty much out there used to stretch the floor.
Right.
As far as the 3-point shooting and opening up the inside for the guys to drive in. But as far as defense, it's totally different now. You have guys out there that now they have a situation where you can zone once in a while and don't get called for it.
Right.
So it's totally different now. Back in the day, you was out there on the island by yourself.
Right. Now, is this what goes around, comes around, sort of saying to you? Because remember, before Magic hit the scene with that Showtime running gun, the game was a slower game. When Magic came along, am I right?
Oh yeah.
The pace picked up.
Absolutely.
And everybody was running and gunning. You got teams like Denver now, and they was just run and gun and run and gun. So is it going in a cycle?
Basically,
Will the big man come back?
oh yeah, definitely. You can't stop that. That's something that's going to be there always. It's just that the big guys now, like I said earlier, they used to stretch the floor,
Right.
And then with that European style game, you got big guys out there
That's
that can
it,
handle
exactly.
the ball now,
That's it,
and do a
exactly.
lot of other things that point guards can do.
The European style. What do you think about that, big guy?
Yeah, the European style is something different. I sort of learned that when I went overseas to play. It was a big adjustment for me to be able to knock the ball off the rim, this, that, and the other. I was like, I didn't play like this, since like playground. So it was a big adjustment for me. The free throw line is different. So yeah, they starting to play. It seemed like they starting to play more European here. With the big 7-footers, now they starting to go overseas and get more and more 7-footers that are actually threes.
Right.
And that can dribble the ball, that can
Right.
stretch the floor, So the game is changed totally.
It has changed.
Yeah.
Xavier and Butler actually got a couple of guys from over in Europe. And you were mentioning earlier about the difference in the Big East then and now. Now you got these teams, Butler, Creighton, DePaul. They couldn't have hanged back in the days when you guys were playing.
Right.
I mean, and I think a few of them weren't Division I schools at that time, right?
Absolutely. No, I think two of them was probably Division II.
Right.
Yeah, I think Butler and recently started making a run year after year.
Right.
Exactly. On the scene and doing the tournament, so they pushed them right on up. And that's where our show last week we were talking. That's all the big money started coming into the NCAA tournament. And again, it's like that tournament alone generates $20 billion.
Wow.
$20 billion.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. And you think about it, the schools are making so much money. And then you look at the athletes that come through there, because mostly all the programs, it's mostly the football and basketball that's making schools money.
Right.
Okay, so if you look at it, that these teams, they make certain moves in order for them to fatten up their income and everything. Just like they broke up the old Big East.
Sure did.
They broke it up because of football. The basketball was making the money. We were making the money.
Sure was.
But
carrying the whole Big East.
Right. To me, they got greedy and wanted to do football. They done football now. I don't think it's turning out the way they wanted to, and the Big East, Lord knows, they just messed that up.
Right.
That's just
It's not the same.
it's not the same. It's not.
I'm getting older, missing something, or it's just not the same.
It's not the same. It's not the same. So yeah, it's real important that we look at the game, we love the game, but we just have to adjust to the changes if we want to continue to enjoy the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So, folks, we're looking for somebody to call in because we're ready to talk. 301-429-9247. I got David Wingate here with me, 15-year NBA veteran, also my former teammate from the Georgetown Hoyas, and Eric Ravenel Hawkins. In the next 5 minutes, we should be joined by Billy Goodwin from St. John's University, Tony Bruin from Syracuse University, Eric Smith from Georgetown University, and also Chuck Everson, the 1985 NCAA champions from the Villanova Wildcats.
Right.
Can't wait to talk to Chucky. That's my baby there.
Yeah, that game was probably, they're saying, not only the greatest upset in college basketball, but probably the greatest upset in sports, period. Period.
That was pretty much like any given Sunday.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
But
anything.
but I don't know. I guess they was just lucky that day. Everything was falling.
Well, they of course they played you guys twice during the year,
Yeah.
and they lost. They lost
Yeah.
in overtime by 2 points, one game, and lost by a few other just close games. So
Right,
when you play an
absolutely.
opponent, you guys know better than me. When you play an opponent that much, you're used to them. So and also, I guess it could have been that catalyst from the incident with Reggie. We'll have to ask him with Reggie doing before the first half, right?
Yeah.
What happened?
Right before the first half.
An altercation came about like towards the first half
Uh-huh.
before we ran into the locker room. I think Chuck hit Reggie with a back blow, and Reggie came down court, took a swung at him. Wow. But he didn't connect or anything. He, just.
Why did he swing at him if he didn't connect?
Chuck claims he connected. We'll have to ask him. We'll have to ask him.
Yeah, can't wait to hear from you, Chuck. Right. Yeah, definitely.
That's something.
So then a lot of folks said that gave them the
momentum,
the momentum, right? At halftime, they come on out, and I mean you can't. I mean, they shot 90%, wasn't it?
No, it was 70.
In the second half, 90%.
Oh, it was. I don't know what it was because I didn't watch the second half because one, I was mad because I wasn't there. Yeah. And it's I don't know.
Well, so that was the problem right there. You wasn't there.
Right.
You was the big difference that we missed.
Yeah, but maybe so. Maybe maybe so. Well, maybe you're right. Okay.
I believe.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been because number one, they wouldn't have came to the basket like they did.
Not like that.
I wouldn't have let them. And most of their teammates know that. They know. Everybody know that. The word was out. You come to that middle, you wasn't gonna come down that middle.
That's right.
It wasn't gonna happen. I wasn't gonna let that happen.
Maurice Lucas style.
Yeah, exactly. But sometimes I have regrets. Sometimes I wish I just would have had that one more year under my belt and then took off. 2 championships and take off.
Right.
But I didn't. Didn't happen that way. I'm here now.
That's right.
I'm living. I'm breathing. I got a great family, great friends. Life is great.
That's right.
And I'm just hoping that my experience from this would teach somebody else.
Some of the younger kids.
Right, what not to do. And that's important. So if I can help one kid,
that's right.
Because of that, I'm great.
That's
man.
right.
I'm great.
That's right.
I'm great.
That's right. Thus we give back in our community. We help out the kids. We're gonna have to get Dave to come on out with us one of these days and kind of feed the homeless and come on out with us.
I'm willing to do that.
Okay.
Definitely, I want to give back to the community. I mean, it meant so much to me growing up. Baltimore, D.C.,
right,
and the outskirts of Maryland. Did so much for me growing up and made me who I am today.
Right, exactly. We all had someone that helped us out along the way. I mean, unless you're born with a silver spoon in your mouth, somebody helped you somewhere along the way.
No.
Yeah, we want to emphasize on that. We have a caller?
No, not yet. I'm still waiting to see if the guys got on yet.
Okay, gotcha. Not a problem. So yes. Back to the Big East.
Yeah. Just thinking when I played, it was a hell of an experience for me. It was a tough league. I knew that in a sense, I knew I wanted to go to Georgetown after I seen the loss against Memphis State. That's when I knew that Georgetown needed a power forward. So not only were they recruiting me, I was recruiting them too because I had already signed to go to Maryland. Mm-hmm. But my mother wasn't satisfied with Maryland. For some reason, she didn't trust Lefty Drizel.
Yep.
So my mother said, well, you going up on the hilltop with this other guy, and we're gonna see how this works. So I'm glad I did. I have no regrets about going to Georgetown.
Right.
None whatsoever. Yeah, it's a great experience for me, and I got to play with David, who's a hell of a guy. I got to play with Reggie. Got to play with the best center in the country. Mm-hmm. During that year. So I knew I wanted to go where my chances were to win were greater. So I made my chance. We have a call on the line right now. Hello? Who do we have on the line here? Eric Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, I got Eric Smith, former Georgetown Hoya on the line here. We got David here, me, David, and Eric Hawkins. How you doing, my brother? I'm doing great, man. Glad to hear from you, man. I missed your call today, man. You called me back. I got out the shower, but I seen your text. Yeah, David's here.
What's up, E? Oh, man, how you doing, brother?
So he was showing you around campus. Sure was. Yeah. Oh, man. Sure you knew he knew where everything was.
Absolutely. Yes, how you doing, E? Okay, getting it in. How that stroke? Okay.
What? Oh, that's right. He's a golf player, huh?
Yeah.
I'm hoping to do a tournament next summer. So since I know you play, I'm gonna make sure you get out there. Yeah, I'm gonna see where your game at. I'm gonna see where your game at. Hey, Eric, question: what do you think about our Hoyas now? You know, Patrick, first year coaching this year. You know, they look like they trying to bring in a lot of recruits. We're looking to be competitive this year, and I can't wait. Yeah, that's it. Got to wait and see. I mean, I'm looking at the schedule and everything, and everybody crying, "Oh, they're not playing nobody." But see, they got to realize anybody can beat anybody on any given day in this game. So you got to understand that. That's why a lot of the teams that were Division II or NIAA or whatever, now they're in Division I, and they beating a lot of these big time schools. Mm-hmm. So, you know, you can't say they're not playing nobody because you really don't know who they have. You got to wait till it happens. And once it happens, then you can judge them, you know, how good they are, what they need to work on, their weaknesses, their strength. So I'm excited. I think he's going to do well, you know, and you know, like I'm telling everybody, he got my support. You know, I can't wait. I'm excited. Exactly.
Yeah, right,
exactly.
Right. That's right.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
They say they don't understand that, you know. I mean, if you look at Little John when he was coaching, he tried to play everybody in the top 20, you know, and that's what he, you know, that's in a sense that's what he couldn't do, you know, but he did it. He wasn't afraid to play anybody, you know, and that's the thing, and he wanted people to know that. So, you know, I mean, being a good guy and everything don't win you games or anything, and I really think he did a good job. But you know, then too, I really think it was time for them to try something else.
Yeah. Plus, we got to get that mystique back.
Yeah, we don't have that mystique.
Yeah.
You know, we used to walk on the court. Even from y'all, when y'all was playing, walk on the court. People look at us. We already knew we had the game.
That's right. Up 10.
You already up 10. Yeah. You know, now we go on the court and people look at us and they laugh. Yeah. You know, that really hurts me, and I'm almost 60 years old, and I want to get out there. Yeah, exactly. You know, so you know, I'm looking for them to do a hell of a job. I really think they are. You know, it's just a matter of time, and all they need is the support. So we got to get out there and really support them. You know, like I was telling the people that asked me, I figured that former players need to be involved in the program more. And most of the time, it's not because we don't want to. You know what I'm saying? So we want to, but, you know, nobody says anything. So I think that's important because I look at a lot of other schools, you know, especially Villanova. I'm really envious of Chuck and them. And God rest Coach's soul, Massimino's soul. Yeah. But every year they would go down to his house and spend the weekend and have the best time of their life, man. You know, and that's the togetherness, and I think that's what we're lacking.
I mean, well, we wasn't never handed that, you know, from Coach Thompson. He was pretty much a person that show you the path, but you got to go out there and get it yourself.
Go out and get it. Go out and get it.
Well, he was old school. He remind me, you know, I came up during the time, I guess, you know, your parents, you have to really earn it. You have to really earn it. They're not going to give it to you. And he came up that way. You know,
Look
you
where
know,
he came from, the
right.
Celtics.
There you go. You know, it was
Russell,
a lot of racism back when he was playing. Yeah. You know, so that I can understand the way he is. You know, it's no excuse, but I can understand the way he is. You know, and I think the program's going to be all right. He built the program, and he want to keep it on top. I understand that. Yep. Yeah.
Billy Goodwin.
Oh, is that Billy Goodwin?
And Tony Red Broom.
Is that Tony? All right. I got Billy Goodwin from St. John's University. Also, I got Tony Red Bruin from Syracuse. We rolling tonight, y'all. Can y'all come on in and give us a call or any questions on Facebook? We'll be glad to answer them. What's happening, fellas? Chuck, Big Chuck. That's my Chucky baby. You know I love you, baby. That's Chuck Everson, everybody, from the 1985 Villanova Wildcats, the NCAA champs. I got an all-star. I got my own team
That's
here.
right,
I got my
that's
own
right.
team here,
Big
baby.
East in the house.
Yeah, Big East in the house. You
That's
know,
right.
That's
the
right.
original Big East.
That's right.
I gotta ask Chuck, guys. I gotta ask Chuck. Chuck, I gotta ask you this question now. Did Reggie really hit you? It- That's what we hear. So, you know, a lot of folks and the sports writers and the guy. And by the way, I'm sorry, Eric Hawkins here. Eric Ravenel Hawkins.
They
Now,
can give the number
great,
here.
great, great. Now,
Okay.
they're saying
What?
that that was motivation for you
Okay.
all at halftime, along with Raleigh's speech, of course. Now, did that give you guys extra motivation?
Well, there's a famous picture of Coach Mass running off the court pumping his fist after that happened. And we went in and he used that at halftime to get everybody charged up. And then we came out and dismissed. I think Patrick blocked the Dwayne McClain shot. And that was the only shot we missed in the second half. So
Right.
they gave me the credit for that, and I've been milking that.
You've been milking it, yes, you have. I hear your family. I hear your family tease you about that every time you bring it up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I don't even have to bring it up. I mean, people eventually ask you, when you're 7 foot walking around, Mike, people ask if you play, and then they say, where did you play? I played at Villanova. Were you on that team? And then they want to know. They can tell you where they were that night, who they were with, and that kind of stuff. So it kind of keeps going on and on and on.
Yeah, I remember that night. I think I was at home drowning in some beer because I couldn't play.
Part of that rough, Mike, because it might have been different if you were
Absolutely. We ain't talking
Yeah.
about that, Chuck.
Yeah.
It's Dave Wingate, Chuck.
There's no business the grandchildren, brother. I understand.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I was saying the same thing. This is Dave Wingate, Chuck. How y'all doing, fellas?
Hey, Dave, how are you?
All right, hanging in there. Yeah. Just want to ask you one question, Chuck. You think if we played y'all the best out of 5, what would the outcome have been?
Dave, hey, listen, I'm going to tell you like this, Dave. All kids aside, we joke around and stuff. I've run into a lot of the guys from that team. And, we've talked over the years. The biggest compliment I could pay Georgetown players and Coach Thompson is you had to be at your absolute best just to hope to compete with you guys. That's how it was. I mean, if we don't shoot the ball, I mean, who expected that?
Right.
I put it on here.
I got to sit 5 times. And if we could compete with Georgetown, unless everybody was on their game, and lucky for us we were. But I tell you one thing, we were all rooting for you guys to beat St. John's. They had our number.
Yeah. Who that Billy Goodwin?
Yeah, that's the godfather of the Big East.
Look here.
So he said, take it easy.
Right. Hey, Billy Goodwin, this Dave Wingate. I want to tell you, do you remember when I showed up for a basketball game and you tried to turn it into a boxing match?
Hey, Dave, I was hoping you wouldn't go there.
A lot of guys don't even remember that, Billy. To be quite honest.
I was hoping you wouldn't go. Actually, Chris went nuts after that.
Yeah, he did. He sure did. He sure did, Billy. Absolutely.
I thought, because most St. John's people thought we was done.
Yeah.
And Chris put on one of the best units.
He sure did. He sure did.
Oh, Chris shot y'all out?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, Chris, man. Woo! Talking about can play? Man.
Chris Mullins.
Nah, Chris,
Hey, how you doing?
Now we going back now. Hold it. Hey, the greatest college team I saw was my junior year when Patrick first got there. Y'all was the best team. I don't know how y'all lost to North Carolina. We're not gonna go there. That's the best deal. That was man.
Well, I think that was Dean Smith's first win, right? First championship?
Yep, surely was.
What would the outcome be? Hey, I don't know how they got the one they did get. I'll be honest with you.
Who?
North Carolina.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how either.
When Jordan hit that shot, Fred threw the ball away. We can go through a whole bunch.
A whole bunch,
Tyson
yeah.
gave him the first 10 points because John told him to throw it
Right.
Yeah.
Swap everything away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's Big East basketball.
I said, don't let them see the ball go through the hole. Patrick was jumping up, throwing, he was just picking targets.
Yes, I remember that. I forgot. I was in high school then watching that game. It was, I was in high school watching that game. Yeah.
Sleepy.
They had a hell of a team,
Yes,
man.
indeed. Yes, indeed.
Oh man, you should go there. I'm gonna tell you something. I got a bad story with that one. You know, I had my parents sitting right behind the bench, right? So everybody had this "We Are St. John" signs, right? So as the game started, I think y'all went out like 20-0. Right?
Yeah, you don't know that.
The first 15-0 was like, you know, everybody was still trying to believe "We Are St. John's." After a while, I see my mother slide the "We Are St. John's" down the bed under her seat. I was like, oh my goodness.
It's over.
I think y'all beat us about 33 times in a row. I know we was up 21-19 at halftime. I remember that. Y'all beat us three times in a row that year. Y'all beat us about 30. I mean, I think y'all started the game out 20-0.
20-0. What?
Unreal, yeah.
Wow.
Is that Tony Red Bruin in there?
At home, we took 30 in
That's Billy.
the Capitol Center.
Uh-huh.
And we took 30 in the Big East. We got y'all getting the Big East tournament. We took 30 in the Big East tournament.
Ain't that something?
We lost the fourth Big East team that year. What is that, man? Providence, and we lost to Syracuse, Boston College. No, and then we lost to Boston College, but we never lost any other Big East team that year. Man, y'all were good, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, hey Billy. Hey Billy.
But that was the best one for me.
Yeah, hey Billy, you being modest. Weren't you like the third leading scorer? Didn't you average like 14.7 points a game? You was right behind Dave Russell and Chris Mullins.
No, I put mine in, but he wasn't enough for that.
You being modest. Yes, indeed.
Hey, Eric, but it got overshadowed because we was getting smashed. But I put mine in.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I ain't hear from Tony Red yet. They used to say Tony used to be able to sit up on the backboard. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hey, Tony, did you really have hops like that, man?
No, many moons ago. It's hard to get a word in when Billy's around.
Right.
And Rez, they said your jump shot was like a knuckleball, but you didn't miss from the foul line.
Right. Hey man, that's what it's all about, man. You know, I want to try to do this probably every month, man, because you know we got to represent the Big East, even though it is what it is now, but it ain't what it used to be.
Right.
And that's a fact.
Right. And Red, wasn't Andre Hawkins on that team with you?
Yeah.
That was Mike's buddy.
Hey,
That's your buddy,
see,
buddy, Mike.
y'all didn't know that me and Andre were twins. Our birthdays on the same month,
Right.
same day, and same year.
Y'all kind of look alike, too.
Right. And see, the reason why I swung at him because that bread fell on the floor.
Right.
And, you know, I had to get a piece of it, you know, before he got it. So, you know, because Andre a big dude.
He a big boy.
Yeah.
Right. Sibling rivalry. Right. We all remember that swing.
But see, come to think about it, I really need to apologize to him. So Andre, if you're listening, I apologize because he wasn't the one. It was the other guy. Looking at the tape now, it was the other guy that hit me. Andre wasn't around. He was just the closest there. So, you know, I definitely apologize for that one. Man.
Right.
I messed that one up. Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
They made it cold, huh? In the Syracuse in the curry though, he got no gloves and a hat.
That is playing in the football stadium.
Wow. Yeah, I used to hate playing in there, man. That year we played up in there.
Unreal, man.
Yeah, that's unreal. That's an unreal place to play at. That's a hard place to play at. It's,
You can't find the rim there with all that orange.
yeah, you can't find a rim, and then you might get hit by some marbles or an orange.
Half of the school can't even see the game. So they sitting way over
Yeah,
there.
way over there.
I mean, just like I think Bayham is the last coach standing from that whole.
Probably.
Yep,
so.
that Bayheim. Yep,
Right.
Bayheim is.
Right.
Hey, speaking about that, man, Chuck, man, really I send my condolences for Coach Massimino. Man.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. Hey, me too.
Man, what a good guy, man. I spent a lot of time because Mitch was recruiting me at the time when I was coming out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, Mitch was
It was. You know what happened? He was battling for 6 years, and at the end, he was with us. Like you had mentioned, Mike, when I first came on, that we do a thing. Jay Wright does this thing where all the basketball alumni come back and they play golf and they have a little. They watch a scrimmage between the guys that are playing currently and the younger alumni that are in the league or in Europe playing, and they have a nice day out of it. And Coach was there for that, and he was in the element with all these guys cutting up with everybody, and then 2 or 3 weeks after that, it was over. It was that quick.
Right,
Wow.
sad to hear that. Chuck, let me ask you a quick question. You were working with Massimino's camp for the youth, weren't you? At one time?
That's where I met. Yeah, I went to the camps, and then I actually worked the camp.
You worked for a lot of years. You still doing that with the kids?
Yeah, I had my own camp for a while.
Okay.
On Long Island, and it went out pretty well. But I do some AAU stuff, and I work with a group called Rising Stars that helps kids not only on the basketball court but in the classroom.
There
Right.
you go. That's it.
Right,
There you
right.
go.
That-
And help them with homework and that kind of stuff. Before they're allowed to play, they got to get their homework and stuff done. in the class.
That's great. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. And hey, Eric, you still there?
Yeah, I mean,
Hey, you know, a lot of folks from this area don't know you with the Churchill High School.
oh, is that right?
Yeah. You know, there's a younger crowd we got to bring in, and we're trying to help them out. They don't know. You were first team All-Met. You were a 3-sport athlete, right?
Yes, I was. Yep,
All-Met
Wow.
in football and basketball.
this is true.
Yeah, I didn't know that. You play a
You
little
know?
football? I didn't
Yeah,
know
he
that.
was a beast.
Because I used to have to guard him.
No wonder you would beat me up on the court.
Yeah.
Man, the hatchet man.
Yeah.
Clever he was.
Yeah, he was clever. Very
Yep.
clever.
Yes,
Yes,
indeed.
yes.
Never played a bad game. That's
Yep.
what they say.
Always consistent.
Always consistent.
Always consistent.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Thank you very much. I tried to be.
Yeah, well.
The hate on against him, man. It was just so hard just to get some space, man. I mean, he's like the claw, I'm going to tell you now.
Uh-huh.
Tony, you remember we played golf at the campus center, and y'all went on like a 12 to 2 run on us? Yeah, but and Big John on the stop. Big John was like 19,000 people got quiet.
Wow. And all you can hear was his voice.
He blessed us. It blessed us real well. 22 run on us.
Try to keep it going. I gotta look up something.
Yeah. Which game was it, Dave, or one of you guys that John took the whole team off? Didn't he take the team off the bench one game? What happened? Was that against Villanova?
I know one game. He wanted to try to fight Bayham. Actually, they wanted to fight each
Or was it Syracuse or something like that? And he threatened to take the team off the
Yeah, I think it might have been something that had to do with Syracuse.
that might have been that Bayheim incident or
yeah,
something.
and somebody in the stands had a picture.
Right.
Right.
I think that was
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
They had a picture of Pat or something.
Right.
Right.
As an animal, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly
Yeah,
it.
his
Yeah.
freshman year, he was treated bad, man.
Boy, that-
I watched some of that, man. Sheesh.
You know, that was something at St. John's. We were like with the student body there. It was like, man, whatever you do, let's not have that here. Huh?
Yeah, that was bad
Absolutely.
You
sportsmanship.
can't read thing and this and that. And it was like, man, whatever you'll do, don't bring that here. Leave that for other people.
Right.
That's right.
That's
See,
right.
that's that old Big East right here.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
You know,
right.
yeah.
we
I thought when I went back to St. John's, I was going to get a homecoming welcome. I got called so many names when I went back.
What?
Well, that was the same thing, man.
Right.
Look, you didn't sign. I
I stepped on that floor, you should have heard something there.
I can only imagine. But that's when the Big East was the Big East.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Who dunked on you, Dave? Who's that dunked on Dave?
Michael Jordan.
Red Bruin dumped on David Russell so bad up in St. John.
On Dave Russell. Dave Russell.
Oh.
I forgot all about
Okay.
Russell had game, though,
Yeah.
quiet as kept, man. Yeah.
David Russell.
Yeah. You can.
Where you go to school?
St. John.
Russell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was Dave Russell and Chris Mullins.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
man. I
Russell.
looked at Dave like, please don't jump, man. Boy, he would.
Tony had hops out of this world back in the day.
Man.
Can you still jump, Tony?
I didn't let him get away from me, so he couldn't jump.
Hey, Tony, what are you doing now, Tony?
It's a players, man.
Huh? I said, what are you doing now?
I'm up in the Hilton Head, Bluffton, South Carolina area. That's where my dad is from.
Uh-huh.
And coached some high school ball in the AAU tournament.
Okay.
That's great. That's great.
School district.
Uh-huh.
And camps and stuff. Just trying to stay involved with basketball and help kids avoid some of the mistakes that, we made.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Let me ask you this: Do you since you in South Carolina? Because I lived there like maybe 10 years. I used to live in Columbia. Matter of fact,
I'm about 2 hours from Columbia.
okay. Do you know Kerry Rich?
No.
Okay. He went to South Carolina. He does radio now. That's my first cousin. But he's involved with a lot of AAU and stuff down there in Columbia.
I speak with Graziano a lot. I mean, he was,
Yeah, I know him.
when I knew that he went to Carolina, I was like one of my choices. I was thinking of going there. They was really weak at the time, but Sidney was thinking about going there together. But once he picked Vegas, I didn't want to go there as much as they were struggling by myself.
Right.
But just going to Syracuse. Between there and Louisville, I just picked the school that's closer to my home. But my dad and all my family on his side is from here.
Okay.
But the foot of the Hilton Head Bridge. So.
Okay, yeah, I used to spend a lot of time down there in Hilton Head and everything. Matter of fact, I used to be a district manager for a company down there in Orangeburg. So, yeah, but I used to stay on the beach a lot. So, they didn't keep me for a long time.
Right.
How about you, Billy? What are you doing now?
I went out with a couple of fellas, and I was so bad, man. They put me on the side and gave me one little plastic ducky things to practice.
Yeah.
They were supposed to be my boys and everything. Coaches that I had met and everything was doing some camps with. So they took me out into going golfing with them. I told them I had only been out a few times. It wasn't that good, but their pace, I couldn't keep up. And then finally they broke out some little plastic thing, like a little plastic tennis balls.
Right.
Just on the side and left me behind.
Hey, Billy, what are you up to? What are you up to now?
Actually, well, I live in France, so
Oh man, wow.
it's like 3:12 in the morning.
Are you serious? Oh man, I didn't know
Wow.
that. Hey man, thank you,
Yeah,
man.
appreciate
Thank you.
it.
I really appreciate that.
I appreciate the fact you invited me, man. But me, I do pretty much the same. I work with a lot of underprivileged kids, and starting my own group homes, for kids that with problems with financial, physical, mental, and
That's great.
problems and stuff like that. And I stay into the bar, I do radio, and we broadcast the games here from the local standpoint. Town I live in is Dijon, France. Can you see the mustard in the supermarket?
Yeah, Dijon. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about too. Hey, you made me hungry, man. You made me hungry, man.
I've been over there for like 30 years now. So.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
Wow, man, 30 years. That's a whole new. You played over there, right?
Yeah, I played like 12 years over here, and I got married, and then now I have 2 daughters over here. So.
Okay. Yeah, life is good.
Yeah,
life is good, man.
I guess they say time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, it does,
Great,
man.
great.
Because it seemed like yesterday, man, and I'm like, wow. I got my oldest is 36 and my youngest is 3. So I'm like, man, and I got 8 of them. So that tell you something,
You know, the funny thing, my oldest is 37 and my youngest is 8. So,
Wow. Yeah. But I love my family, and I'm glad. I'm sort of glad now to be mature. I'm sort of glad to be head of my own household, and to live. Basketball is a part of my life, but it's
right.
not the only thing in my life.
That's
So
right.
and that's what I really had to to really find out. You know, I had to find out to do something other than basketball.
That's
so yeah,
right.
yeah.
And you're giving back and helping with the kids.
That's important, man. That's important because they did it for me.
Right.
They did it for us, everybody.
Yeah. Hey, Eric, are you in the area?
Yeah, I'm in D.C. area.
You're still in the area? We're going to have to get Eric to come on out one of our events, Mike, and say something for the kids. And we do a little camp, a little mini thing we do.
Mm-hmm.
And have you come on out, Eric. Got to get you out there, man.
All right, man.
Yep, so yeah. Any more questions?
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see, what we got here? Anything else? Any more questions? Any more questions for the guys? Go ahead.
Yeah, Bill. Anybody heard from Walter Berry?
Where's Walter Berry?
Walter spends he's doing well actually. You know, he played over here in Europe. He played in Greece for a while.
Wow. Didn't know that.
He had a great career over here. He went back to the States. He spends a lot of time in between Atlanta and New Jersey, but he's doing fine.
Okay, that's good.
I saw him in Atlanta, bro. Yeah, last time I seen him, he was living in Atlanta.
Okay.
Actually, he had bought a home for his mother in Atlanta, and when his mother died, you know, because he had a home in New Jersey, so he still goes back and forth.
Okay.
You know, but last time I saw him, that was what he told me he was doing. We were all up at St. John's, so he was like, you know, he was living in Atlanta because he went back when his mother died. He went and took the house that he bought from his mother.
Okay.
He still had his house in New Jersey at the time. Now I don't know if that's still the case, but he was doing just fine when I saw him.
That's great, man. That's great, man. I want all our brothers to do fine, man, because like I say, the Big East to me is a fraternity, man.
Right.
You know, and I look at some of these teams and coaches now, even in the Big East, it ain't like it used to be.
Right, the Big East now versus, we were talking about that before you guys came on here. The Big East now versus back when you guys were playing. You know, it's totally different. Some of these teams, Butler, Xavier, we were saying they probably weren't Division I schools. They weren't, a couple of them, right, Dave?
Right.
And they wouldn't have been able to hang with you guys. What do you guys think about the Big East now as opposed to when you guys were playing?
Well, my personal opinion with the Big East when we were playing, it was kind of like our baby. You know, it was like we walked the walk, we talked the talk.
Right.
You know, we understood. We didn't really. I don't know if we really understood what we were doing, but we were really. It was like the Big East was as much our baby as it was any other thing.
Right.
And we made millionaires out of a lot of people.
Right.
Yes, we did. Yes,
Right.
we did.
Right.
And people don't realize that. He's exactly right.
Yeah, we made millionaires. We can't even estimate how much money we made from this.
Right, exactly.
Into this thing.
Right.
But we believe like the ACC. There was nobody better than the Big East.
Right.
Right. Right. Now,
Right.
hey, let me give you my perspective. Look, this is my perspective, a guy that didn't.
All of us got the chance to stay home with like all of the DC players and the New York players.
That's where I was. That's exactly where I was headed. That's where I was headed. Right.
Where our people could still see us play, and we still get that. It was, in the ACC and the Big Ten.
Right.
Well, we became larger than those conferences, Yeah, we blew past them so quick. It was like, they couldn't believe it, much less.
Right.
What was Commissioner Gabbard had a vision, and we made it happen.
Exactly.
Y'all did.
Exactly.
And you know what made it great for us that were watching you guys play? Because this was East Coast basketball. Now, a lot of folks from the D.C. area have family in New York. So we knew about Rutgers. We knew about the Gillif League down here. You guys, some of you guys, a lot of guys played in that Rutgers League up there.
I had so much family down in D.C.
Right.
So when I mean, we all knew each other from ASU and the Boston shootout.
Right, exactly.
To the schools we went through, went to. We were familiar with what was great about that time is like, we had these rivalries in between the Big East. But when we was at home watching Georgetown against North Carolina,
right.
ACC school or whatever, we behind Georgetown, like, yo, go get them, man.
That's right. That's it.
We talked the talk and walked the walk. It was like we all believed that the Big East was it, man.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask y'all this.
Yeah.
Have all y'all seen the 30 for 30 on the Big East? And if you did it betray a true story of the Big East, or did they leave a lot out?
I think they got it right, Mike, on that thing. I think that's one of the best 30 for 30s I've seen.
Okay, yeah.
I think they got it right.
I agree with that.
The physicality and the way the game was played back different. And every night you were going to get into it with somebody.
It was a battle.
Exactly.
And the rivalries were the best because they just kept going on and on. So, I mean, on the phone right now, we got St. John's, Georgetown, Syracuse,
Villanova, right.
These are all guys that would
Every
try to
night
kill
was
each
a
other
tough
on
game.
Right.
No matter what school you played.
Every night.
Yeah.
If you were a movie maker and you were writing a film, man, you couldn't write a better script.
Yeah.
I mean, you had Thompson in Georgetown, Louis in New York, Bayham up in Syracuse, Massimino, and
right.
you could just go on and the players, you could just go on and on and on, and the rivalries and every day, every week it was another story, and you couldn't wait to see the biggest game of the week.
Alone, man. And every team had a couple of studs. Them guys were some real characters, man.
Yeah, I agree.
It was a blockbuster.
Had a superstar or two. That was the other thing. I mean,
it was a blockbuster.
Patrick, you had Chris and Eddie and those guys. It was different level. I mean, even now you think of the ACC after you get past Krzyzewski and Carolina, most people don't even know who the coaches are.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But the players are one thing. Like Stu, you guys, you talk about Eddie, you had Stuart Granger, you had Pannone, you can go on and on and on.
Yeah.
But when you see John Thompson walk into Madison Square Garden wearing the sweater, messing with Louis, and the coaches, they were so colorful themselves.
Right.
People. They were packing places themselves.
Yeah.
You go up to Syracuse and they got 30,000 people. You playing in front of 37,000 people. That was incredible.
Right. Who was it? Was it Lou or Bayham that grabbed the towel that did the John Thompson? That was Lou?
I think
That
was Louis?
John Thompson did the Louis sweater, and then Louis
got the towel.
Had the towel, right.
Yeah, I mean they were characters, huh?
Yeah, they were, and they played it well.
Yeah. Rowdy, you would think Rowdy gonna have a heart attack every game. He just waiting for Rowdy to fall out every game.
Right.
I'll tell you what, though, Billy, I've never seen a coach that could manage the last 5 minutes of a game like Roley, man. He can make the last 5 minutes seem like an hour.
Roley made it happen, man. But you be thinking like I used to be like, he could pass out over there, man. Jesus.
He almost did it a few times, Bill.
Oh man, it was so for us. I mean, for me, actually, I can't speak for everybody, but just looking at Coach Bayham, looking at Rowdy, looking at John Thompson, I mean, there's a bunch of superstar players that it just kept going. But just looking at, you remember Dr. Davis from Boston College?
Yeah, I remember that. Tom Davis, Dr. Tom Davis. Yeah, I remember him.
Dr. Davis, that was one of the hardest games in the Big East. No matter who you was. We always waiting to see who Boston College was going to knock off.
Yeah, because they had Bagley, they had Dominic Presley, and I used to hate playing them because I was like, I hope it don't be us.
I'm going to chime in on something.
Michael Adams.
Yeah. Michael, right.
John Bagley.
Garris.
Somebody had a crew, man.
Presley, Dominic Presley.
It wasn't the big fella there. They had a big fella that was good too.
Jay Murphy was
Jay Murphy.
Yeah,
left-handed.
Yeah, that's right. Sure was.
John Garris, Jay Murphy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
John went in the first round. I don't know where he went. John went in the first round.
I'm gonna chime in, and I don't mean to interrupt.
Let me ask you this.
I'm gonna throw a name out there at y'all, and David, you're gonna know him. My brother Andre McLeod. Seton Hall was the door.
No doubt.
Oh, let me tell you something. You talking about Andre McLeod? Andre McLeod used to date my sister.
Look at here, Andre.
So you better, hey. Andre McLeod I used to have to say, hey, school night. I look at her and say, dude, it's time for you to go.
we thought our names. What about Otis Stark?
Oh yeah.
Otis Stark?
Yeah.
Man, I was a big, strong fella, man.
Yeah.
Went up to Providence. I scored the first 12 points. Coach took me out, ain't played me no more. I'm glad he did because I thought he was going to break my back.
He was incredible, man, with the big hands.
Yes, he had big hands, man, and he was a specimen, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't no fat on his body at all.
Nothing. Oh, you didn't realize how big he was because he was so proportionate.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, he just went out there and beat you up and knocked you out the way. I don't think I ever heard him say 2 words, man.
Nah, he wouldn't say 2 words.
Keith Lomax was the same way also.
Keith Lomax was what?
No, Keith Lomax.
Uh-huh.
As far as his build, he was another one that was pretty strong. There, like I said,
Oh, but he was Keith Lomax. You talking about Keith Lomax from here?
Yeah, we got him. Tony, you probably remember these guys.
We talking about the same Keith Lomax.
Yeah, Big Chuck from UConn. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Chuck Alexander and Corny. Yeah.
Lomax,
Ronnie Thompson, Mike McKay.
So long, man.
Mike McKay, yeah.
I tell you what.
Yeah.
What about Shackelford, man? What do you do?
Who knows?
what am I doing? I work for
Shackelford. What's Shackelford?
Shackelford.
Shackelford died.
Thank you.
I stopped seeing Eric when Syracuse was in the Final Four up in Atlanta. He was living in Atlanta. And he was calling me like every other week. Then I just kind of lost touch with him.
Okay.
Yeah, he was in Atlanta.
What was that?
You keep in touch with a lot of guys?
I try to, man, because I want to see what they're doing. I done been in touch with Spud, J.R. Reed, Isaiah Ryder. Man, I be in touch with everybody. Ricky Winslow. I'm in touch with everybody, man.
Chuck was good. He was saying, what was you saying before you got interrupted, Chuck? You do what now?
No, nothing. I thought you were talking to me.
No, but I'm listening. I'm listening. Tell me.
No, I thought somebody asked me what I was doing now.
I'm asking you.
I work for Sunoco. I'm on Long Island. I take care of all the stations on the island. And I also do this stuff with the kids, like the rest of you guys do, and give it back.
Didn't you get inducted to the Long Island Hall of
Fame? Yeah, I did actually a couple of weeks.
Congrats, man.
Yeah, congratulations, sir.
This is the Big East right here, boy. I tell you.
Well, gentlemen, look here. My time is up, and I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all for taking y'all time to call in, man. It means a lot to me. This will not be the last time, so I'll be calling on y'all again, begging to come on the show. But yeah, I'm gonna try to do this Big East thing like every month, especially during the season, and try to involve different players. So if you guys know any of the guys that's around that want to come on, the older guys, tell them to come on because, I always heard, you don't know your history if you don't know your past because you got to know your future. So, hey.
Right, but we can tell about the lies now.
There you go. That's it. So, yeah, so that's important. That's important. But like I said, I appreciate you guys. I want to thank y'all, for coming on the Michael Graham Show. And we'll be talking to you and want to say good night. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right,
gentlemen.
All right.
Peace to the Big East.
All right. And this concludes the Michael Graham Show tonight with my guests, David Wingate, Eric Ravenel Hawkins, and my guests that called in, Chuck Everett, Billy Goodwin, and Tony Bruin, and Eric Smith. And I'll see you next Monday.